Hi, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar. My name is Tanya. I'm with the Grow Nebraska Foundation. And so we'd like to thank you for hopping on today for our special webinar session. And today's webinar is Kindle Direct Publishing. We have Daniel from Amazon here with us today. But first, I would like to thank Center for Rural Affairs for being a sponsor of our webinar series. And so we just have a quick video.
Hello, and thank you for joining today's webinar, sponsored by the Center for Rural Affairs. My name is Nikki Chitwood, and I'm the Panhandle Loan Specialist. As one of the many services we provide, I am here to introduce to you our lending services. When a bank can't help you with your dreams of homeownership or growing a business, the Center for Rural Affairs can. We offer coaching and financing to help you become a homeowner and start or grow a sustainable business. Please feel free to contact me at 308-631-0157, or you can visit cfra.org for more information.
Once again, thank you, Center for Rural Affairs, for being a sponsor of our webinar series. And then our featured sponsor for the month is Russ's Market. So we'd like to thank them for being a partner with the Grow Nebraska Foundation. And then our featured member of the month is An Affair from the Heart. Michaela has been a member with us since 2019. And so we'd like to thank Michaela for being a part of our foundation. And then, like I said, we have Daniel here with us today. And so I'm going to just let him take it away.
Hi everyone. We'll get started in just a second. Gonna be sharing my screen. So here we go. That's the correct screen. Pulling this up. So thank you all for being here today. It's a pleasure to be here myself and present on this pretty hotly demanded topic, which is of course Kindle Direct Publishing. So who is this for and what will you learn? So if anyone in this audience hopefully is a author, aspiring author, or just looking for a new way to potentially grow their business, develop their brand, and lean into a new outlet, then getting started with Kindle Direct Publishing could be a great way to do so. A little bit about myself real quick. My name's Dan Corcoran, a program manager on Amazon's Small Business Partnerships and Education team. Purpose of our team is really to support small businesses and entrepreneurs like yourself through providing this educational programming and a whole host of other elements that our team supports, such as booths and panels that we participate in and sponsoring conferences. But enough about me and that. We're going to take a look at today's agenda, which is revolving around Kindle Direct Publishing. So as mentioned, in this presentation, you'll learn why should you self-publish with KDP, Kindle Direct Publishing. Getting started with the program, some discoverability opportunities that you can leverage, as well as selling books in Amazon store, physical books that are not yours. Then lastly, we'll share some additional resources. At the each section, at the end of each section, I'll take a moment to let some of that material digest and for people to catch up on their notes. But if anyone has questions throughout this presentation, feel free to put it in the chat. Just know that we will not address any Q&A until the presentation concludes. That just ensures that we're staying on time. So without further ado, let's jump in. So why self-publish with KDP? It's a great question because this is going to take some of your time and some of your resources. So it's something that's worth exploring. But before jumping in and answering the why, let's go into the background a bit. Now, what are the two real ways of publishing, really? And the one is self-publishing, which is basically skipping gatekeepers. This is taking matters into your own hands to publish your own work. And that way you can get to market faster, retain control of your copyrights and material, and more. Traditional publishing is when you go to different publishing houses and pitch your book and your manuscript to them with the aim and hope of getting signed and taken in by one of them. So let's compare these two options. So to go through this real quick, we have the funds of self-publishing and the funds for traditional publishing. So with self-publishing, it's going to be up to you. You're going to be the one providing the marketing support, designing the cover of the book, and you will be kind of fronting any cost to getting that book out there, as well as advertising and marketing the book. With traditional publishing, the publisher would typically pay for distribution, uh, advertisements, and more. Now, with royalties, it varies quite a bit, as you can see. With the royalties with self-publishing, they're anywhere from 60 to 70%, and that can vary a bit. And on the opposite hand, with traditional publishing, it's hovering around 10%, and that will depend on the country and the exact conditions that you sign. Now, regarding rights. Now, with rights, self-publishing, you manage those. They're yours. You retain your copyrights typically. With a traditional publisher, you're kind of giving those rights to the publishing house to publish the book where they want to go, and when, and so on, and when, like in terms of timing. And those exact conditions will vary. Then, speaking of timing, the timing depends on you. And timing, that means on when you want to publish your work. So timing depends on you, whereas with traditional publishing, the publishing house will decide when they want to bring that book to market. So now that we have a little overview of comparing both options, let's go into Kindle itself. So, a little history of Kindle. The Kindle e-reader was developed and launched finally after 3 years of working on this project, and it finally launched in 2007. And with only a few short hours, 6 hours, it was completely sold out and remained out of stock for the following 5 months. So, that immediately cued and indicated that this was a pretty popular item. Like this was going to be a massive hit. And by 2011, Kindle ebooks were selling out pretty much outpacing the sale of physical books in Amazon store. So that was once more an indicator that ebooks are this growing market and are in high demand and widely popular. Now, Amazon's ebook market share is estimated to be around 72%. That varies based on who you look at. But when you include Kindle Unlimited, which is one of Amazon's programs, which is allows people to read multiple books each month and not pay for each book, that market share will jump up to approximately 82, 83%. So in essence, Amazon has a huge market share of ebooks. And as you can see in the slide that Kindle readers read close to 500 million ebooks through Kindle every year. That's quite extraordinary. And that number of e-readers, people who read through a Fire tablet and so on, that's expected to be over 1 billion people by 2027. So once more, this just illustrates the popularity of ebooks and how it's becoming ever more adopted by the general population. So looking at buying a book in Amazon store. So as you can see highlighted in that screen on that picture to the top right, if the author offers their book through these different formats, such as the ebook, Kindle, audiobook through Audible, and paperback and hardcover, there's different options that they could offer their book through, as I just listed out. And each of these options caters to a specific different demographic because the people who read the Kindle e-readers, they're optimizing, say, for maximizing their investment because they bought a Kindle e-reader, so they're going to go through quite a few books each month from their Kindle e-reader. They're not the same person buying the paperback. And those two people are completely different from the people who opt in for audiobooks like myself, who maximize and optimize for convenience and just like being able to listen to it and like the experience of the author, narrating their book. And once more, the paperback and hardcover readers are going to be different from the audiobook and Kindle readers. Because these people, they like the physical book. They like sitting down with it. They like putting it on their bookshelf so they could show off to other guests that they read. And all these people they're all completely different customer segments you can think of them as. And with that, you can reach new different pockets of people, completely different by just simply expanding the format of your book. So let's go into why self-publish with KDP, because it is a great question, because you do have other options and you do have maybe other options and places that you want to invest your time into. So with KDP, you're able to earn 70% royalties. You're able to reach a global audience. You retain your copyrights. You get to market fast. We have a very quick turnaround process once you submit your book and your work for approval. And you can publish your book in over 40 languages, which is key to reaching that global audience. So with KDP, as mentioned, you earn competitive royalties, you get to market quick, you publish in the largest bookstore in the world, and you can publish through different formats as well, such as ebooks, hardcovers, and paperbacks. So those are some compelling reasons as to why, as an author, you may want to look into Kindle Direct Publishing. So getting started with KDP, what's the process look like, and where do I go? So if you're ready to publish your book, you have everything set, you'll want to go to kdp.amazon.com, go up to that top right-hand corner and hit Join KDP. What you'll need to get your book published, some of this is obvious. Some of this is like a title and description, and knowing the type of book you want to publish, such as a ebook versus a paperback or a hardcover. So you'll need to know that, but then there's things like publishing rights. So you'll have to know whether the rights of the book belong to you, such as like it's your material, it's originating from you, compared to public domain, whether that could be an example of a older history book. Then you want to know the publication date. Publication date is important too, because if you put your book out today, 10/16, but you have the publication date for 10/31, October 31st, that lead up period, you could be advertising your book to get pre-orders and build momentum for your book's release. Then you want to know the trim size, which is the book size. Typically, it's anywhere like, I believe, 7 by 10 and 6 by 9 are the different most popular book sizes. But once more, that's only applicable and relevant to paperbacks and hardcovers. And then you want a formatted manuscript and cover file, which oftentimes we hear can be the most difficult part of the process. And we do have a tool to help you with that, but I'll touch on that a little later on in additional resources. So, royalty options, what do they look like? Because at the end of the day, everyone wants to receive compensation for their hard work. It's more than fair. So, royalty options with Kindle Direct Publishing vary. One, we have the 35% royalty rate. That is for ebooks priced below $2.99 and above $9.99. And for ebooks that are public domain. Once more, history books would really fall into that public domain because they're older and they don't belong to anyone in terms of copyrights. Then there's the 70% royalty option. That's for people who, one, own the copyrights of their book, of their work, and two, price their book any between $2.99 and $9.99. And that's for ebooks specifically. If you publish paperbacks and hardcovers, that's going to come at a 60% royalty rate, where Amazon does offer that distribution. So not every country does Amazon say deliver paperbacks and hardcovers to. Now, an ISBN, an International Standard Book Number. Oftentimes, someone will come up and ask, do I need an ISBN for my book? And the answer to that is, it depends. Now, it depends on whether you want to publish via Kindle only, so only publish with Amazon, or if you want to publish your book through other channels as well. If you want to publish your book only through Amazon, then you don't need one because we'll provide you a free one. However, if you want to provide your book to other channels and other companies, then you'll want to get an ISBN number. Now, an ISBN number is a specific code that identifies the exact edition of your book, the publisher, and physical properties. And this is only related and relevant for ebooks and paperbacks. So if you only plan to publish ebooks, then this does not concern you. So, some best practices for selecting categories and keywords. Because when you're filling out your products or your book's details, you want to be specific and you want to be accurate as well. So if you had a romantic werewolf novel, for the categories, you will want to select romance and then werewolves. You won't want to select nature, animals, wolves. Because once more, those categories are completely in stark contrast of one another, and people who are in the other are definitely not searching for that book. In the nature category, they're not looking for the romantic werewolf novel book. And I know, no, that sounds kind of obvious, but you just want to be aware that you're selecting the right categories for your books. Now, a best practice for this is browsing certain categories where similar books to yours exist to see if it's a good fit for it. So if you were publishing a suspense novel, going into thrillers and suspense and seeing if your book actually fits in thrillers and suspense would be a best practice to ensuring that you get your book in the accurate category. And this is extremely important too, because if you think of it as a grocery store, you're not going to be buying toothpaste in the canned food items aisle and vice versa. So you want to ensure that your book is in the right placement within Amazon store for different categories. Another thing, speaking of categories, is you want to focus on subcategories. So another example, once more, would be if you have a history book, you will want to get more specific with that in how you can. So if you had a history book that was United States history and more specifically 19th century history, you will want to select history for the first category, then the subcategories would be United States, and then under that would be 19th century history, if that was where your book would fall. Because that just allows you to get discovered and heighten visibility in different storefronts and pages because that way you're appearing in history, United States history, and 19th century history. So keep that in mind too when you're thinking of your book and potential subcategories. Now looking at keywords. For keywords, you don't want to include punctuations, and you get up to 7 keywords as well. So don't include any punctuations in them. Avoid promotional language and subjective commentary such as best-selling book, most wonderful book, fascinating book, etc. And as mentioned, you get 7 keywords, but the character limit for all those 7 keywords is 210. So keep in mind that you want to be succinct as well. Now, this is just an example of one book. So this was The Moonflowers. It's a novel available in Amazon store. And for their categories, it did mystery. And then under mystery, they chose thrillers and suspense. Author Central. So say you're an author, you publish a few books out there via Kindle Direct Publishing and elsewhere, and you want somewhere to kind of put out your entire catalog of work and where people can keep up with you. Author Central is exactly that because it provides authors the opportunity to create an account and then upload their bio of themselves, a personalized headshot, profile picture, as well as their entire catalog of books. And best part here is that people, your fans, your readers, your audience can follow your page and get notified when you're putting something new out. Therefore, your biggest fans keep in contact with you and keep in touch. So that's extremely important to keep in mind as well when thinking of, do I have a home base for all of my work and for myself as an author? And this is available to all authors, irrespective of whether you publish via KDP or not. Now I'll take a quick moment to let some of that information digest and let people catch up on their notes, but we'll jump into discoverability and advertising in just 1 second. As mentioned, everyone, all questions will be answered at the end. I just look to ensure that I'm not going too fast and this information is hitting home. Okay, cool. Let's keep this moving. Okay, reader insights. So on this slide, what I really want to communicate is one, over 3/4 of readers, book buyers in Amazon store discover a new title or author when shopping on Amazon. And most people, about 3/4 of people, say that they see an ad while shopping in Amazon store. So what does that mean? What's the takeaway? Well, people discover book buyers discover new books and authors when shopping in Amazon store, and they often see ads. So that kind of puts together, well, if I want to increase visibility for my book, I could look into advertising. And as well as when people are shopping in Amazon store, they're already seeing new books and new authors. All right, Kindle's KDP's bestseller rank, the BSR. This appears to be the holy grail for a lot of people because it is quite important and can be quite consequential if you do get your book on here because it could have a very positive, beneficial snowball effect for your book and for generating sales. So what is it though? Well, the BSR is a numerical ranking that is assigned to your book based on your book sales. So the lower the number, say number one is the top selling book on that bestseller ranking chart, whereas 1,000 would be quite low on the chart. So you want to be closer to the bottom than you do, closer to the lower numbers than you do to any higher numbers. This chart is updated hourly, so it stays pretty up to date. And the good part about this chart is that there's different ones because there's different BSR charts for different categories. So it's good to keep that in mind as well, that maybe you're not popular in overall, but you do like in the biggest one, but you are popular within the history BSR. So that's great to keep in mind as well, because once more, your book could be popular within a specific niche, a specific category, but maybe not in the biggest one, but nonetheless, that could still help you generate sales. And this is just an example of this, of what this looks like. So this is just general Amazon's bestsellers rank. And as you can see, that it varies quite a bit. These are all different types of books, but if you do look kind of looking for a trend, a lot of these appear to be, mysterious novels, something scandalous would possibly be the word to describe it. So keeping that in mind in terms of popular trends and books, book categories is good because if you're pretty loose on what you want to publish and what you want to discuss, then or write about, then maybe you could, take this away or use as a takeaway. Okay, best practices to get the BSR. Now, number one is just ensuring that your book title, the subtitle, description, all that is optimized for search engines. And what I would recommend takeaway for that would be, okay, I'm publishing the fantasy romance werewolf novel. What's similar to that? Are there other books I could look at that are already published that are doing well that I could maybe look at the language that they're using in their description and how they're discussing the book and summarizing it that would be applicable to my own book? And it's not, don't plagiarize, don't take everyone's words, but are there certain keywords over 10 different books that all these authors are using? That's something to keep in mind. Another thing, categories that are relevant but not overly competitive. So once more, you want to be accurate in your categories. You don't want to purposely select the wrong category for your book just because it's less competitive. But looking for niche categories that your book may be a better fit for could be extremely beneficial to you if the competition is lower. Another thing, investing in a high quality, eye-catching cover. People always say, don't judge a book by its cover. We all judge a book by its cover. Every single person does. If I walked in today into my workplace and I wore this shirt that had this controversial slogan on it, people would judge me right off the bat and I may be asked to leave. So people are always judging books by their covers, and it's good to invest time and the resources into getting a high quality cover because that's the first thing people are going to see. So just take that to heart in terms of all right, where do I want to invest time and resources? Also, utilizing pre-order campaigns to help build momentum for your book. So once more, it's 10/16. If I plan to publish my book on 10/31, couple weeks from now, I could use my different social media channels. If I had any email list I could leverage, blogs, YouTube channels, etc. Just word of mouth as well, just to tell people that it's coming out. And if they have any interest in it, they could pre-order the book, which can help with the bestsellers rank and just once more generate sales and help build momentum. Also, continue to market your book, continue to put out efforts following its release, because one of the benefits but also you could see as a con to self-publishing is that's up to you. So you don't have to worry about control from a traditional publisher, but that means it's all up to you to market your book, discuss your book, highlight it when it's appropriate and relevant. So just keep that in mind as well, that once you put a book out on KDP or with KDP, doesn't mean it's immediately you become a bestseller, and investing time into marketing your book is most certainly worth it. Okay, one opportunity to kind of highlight your book's description, its product detail page, is adding A plus content for KDP. Now, A plus content for KDP allows authors to highlight more about themselves and the book. As you can see, if you add A plus content for your work, a section called From the Publisher will appear on your product detail page. And under that, you can add customized modules where you discuss your book or who you are as an author and what you like to discuss and write about. And it really just gives more information to the potential customer. And this is probably example that I think is at least better because one, and the example is on to the right there. If you look at that example there, it's very simplistic, but it conveys a strong message because you're just using quotes from people who've read their books. Brilliant. I was gripped. I don't know who Peter James is, but that's a pretty compelling anecdote to buy the book, nonetheless. And once more, the benefits of featuring A plus content include engaging readers with rich text and images and having that kind of appealing visual imagery just on your product detail page for your book. You can choose from over 15 modules to select to design your A plus content for your book as well. So you're not limited in a format either. Okay, so adding A plus content. Well, where do I go? What do I do? It's pretty straightforward if you have the correct images and the text you want to use. So you go to A plus Content Manager, you'll click Start, then you click Start Creating A plus Content. Then you'll enter the details for your book, such as the language you want to publish it in. From there, you select the modules that you want to use, then add the appropriate images and text, excuse me, that you decide to use. And then finally, enter in the ASIN for your book. So every product in Amazon store will have it's called an ASIN, stands for Amazon Standard Identification Number. And from there, you'll add that in so Amazon knows, KDP knows where to put this content at and on what product detail page. And then from there, just do a quick review of everything, make sure it's correct. Sometimes I'll stare at an email for 2 minutes just to ensure that there's no grammatical errors or spelling errors. I would suggest you do the same just for this to be thorough with it so you don't get rejected due to a grammatical or spelling error and you don't need to resubmit your work. So another way you can improve your book's discoverability is nominating your book for a promotion through Kindle deals. Now, Kindle deals are limited discount deals to offer your work, your book, to readers. Now, they could range from 1 day to multiple weeks, and when you enroll your book in one of these, it is featured in select placements, and you can receive additional marketing support. So it's good to know. It's potential to reach more people and more potential customers. And what we recommend with this is that the books or your work that you want to kind of nominate, that it has been published for at least 90 days. So there's some historical sales revenue there. It's not just brand new. So you want some sales, uh, historical sales to pull from to make sure that, oh, this is a popular book. This will do well with different crowds. And then also it needs to be priced between $2.99 and $9.99. So you have to be opted in for that 70% royalty option. And some requirements for Kindle deals is your book is an ebook, so it's only available to ebooks. It's not erotic. It's not contain explicit language or explicit images or language. And once more, it's enrolled in the 70% royalty plan. So it's also your work. It's not public domain. And this is only available in the US marketplace. Customer reviews. Oftentimes someone will come up and be like, customer reviews, how much do they matter? How much do they not matter? Now, customer reviews most certainly matter because people read them. Obviously, just ask yourself, when's the last time you read a review for a product that you were considering purchasing? Probably pretty recently if you purchased a product recently. The thing is, though, to keep in mind, at least for KDP, is customer reviews will not impact search results. Having said that, that does not mean they will not impact purchasing decisions for customers. So it's still important to have positive, high quality customer reviews because it can help guide the customer and see if this book matches what they're looking for, matches their interest. Now you can leverage customer reviews, obviously. High quality ones, you'll want a bunch of those, but even ones that are, say, 2-star or 3-star, there might be some actionable feedback you can take away. Because we talked about categories at length earlier. And what if someone said, hey, I read some of the book, I liked it, but it's not really a thriller book. It's more history. It's more historical. You could take that and then look at the book honestly and be like, huh, does it belong in a different category? Maybe it does. Or maybe it doesn't, but I could use different language in how I describe the book to give the potential customer, the potential reader, a better insight in setting more accurate expectations. So once more, customer reviews, they do not impact search results, but they most certainly can impact a customer's purchasing decision. Positive reviews are always welcomed, obviously, but negative reviews, leverage those as well because there may be some actual takeaway that you can use to improve your book's description, keywords, and possibly even a title. So enrolling in KDP Select. So KDP Select is the back end for the Kindle Unlimited program, which is what pretty much consistent readers opt into. So Kindle Unlimited, to provide clarity here, is a program that if I have a Kindle and I read books, like several books a month, I may want to opt into because when I opt into Kindle Unlimited, I can access over 1 million titles. And as a author, I may want to enroll my book into Kindle Select, which provides it to Kindle Unlimited subscribers because I'm reaching new audiences. Because one thing that I think is wild that about 3/4 of Kindle Unlimited subscribers read more than 5 books per month. So these people are going through books on the regular. And you can reach these people by enrolling your book into KDP Select. Now, there are some differences with KDP Select compared to the royalties, such as like the compensation and where else you can or cannot offer it. So with the royalties, you're compensated, you receive royalties based on the number of pages someone reads and not based off the book's purchase. So if you have a book that is popular, it's doing well, people are reading it, you may want to consider, all right, offering it to KP Select, having confidence that people are going to read most of the book. Also, when it comes to offering the book to KDP Select. If you enroll in KDP Select, you have to make your book virtually. So the ebook has to be exclusively available to KDP Select and in KDP Store for a 90-day enrollment period. So, for example, you cannot offer your ebook on your own website. You can offer a preview of it, less than 10% of the book's content, but you cannot sell your book on your own website or elsewhere for the ebook. And that's for 90 days. So it's good to keep that in mind as well. And as mentioned, the big benefit here is the fact that the people who are Kindle Unlimited subscribers are reading books consistently throughout the month. They're reading almost three-quarters of them are reading more than 5 books every month. And by reaching this whole new, say, customer segment, this reader segment of people who love to read, that can obviously increase sales for your book. Goodreads, what is it? So Goodreads is a website, really a discussion board kind of website that allows people to recommend books for their recommend different books in groups, so discussion groups, and people can catalog their books, they can rate and review different books, join different discussions, set reading goals even, and it's available on a mobile app as well. So it's kind of widely distributed. And you can claim your own book on Goodreads to connect with fans, list giveaways, post about upcoming events such as a book signing, and add some customization as well, such as like photos and videos through Goodreads. Now, the steps to claiming your book is one, you want to create an account on Goodreads if you don't have one. You'll search for your pen name, it may just be your real name, and click on the published author name to access the page. And from there, you want to scroll down to "Is this you?" and then click that to inform them and request that you are able to claim your book and join the Goodreads author program. That way, you'll have full benefits of being the author of the book and reaching people who once more love to read, love to talk about it, love to set goals, and more. KDP Expanded Distribution Program is for paperbacks, and it is a great program for someone who wants to reach new retailers, get in libraries or educational institutions, but doesn't really have the means to doing so. Because through this program, you can exclusively offer your printed book rights to KDP, to Amazon, and from there, we'll make your book available to order to distributors for libraries and other retailers such as Barnes and Nobles and Targets, so they can order it if they so please do. Now, this is not a guarantee that they will order it, but it does give them, say, visibility and seeing your book and really takes the pressure off of you of trying to pitch your book to these different retailers. It's something to consider to get your book on different shelves in physical stores. And if you don't want to do a lot of the legwork behind it, it's something to look at. And for this, the royalty rate is 40%. So just to call that out as well. All right, finally to something that I think is important. No, I'm kidding. Uh, Audio creation exchange. This is audiobooks. This is what I love to listen to because listening to an author narrate their own book, I believe provides this extra layer of experience. And if you want to turn your audiobook into or your book into an audiobook, you most certainly can through Audio Creation Exchange. Now, you can choose from a professional narrator, so you can hire someone, contract someone to narrate your book, or you can narrate your own book. So that's something to keep in mind as well. If you don't feel comfortable narrating your own book, you can contract someone to narrate it for you. We published the audiobook to Audible, Amazon, iTunes, so Apple, and you can just reach once more a new customer segment by offering your book via audio. And a nice data point at the bottom here is about half of the American population has listened to an audiobook, so they're becoming pretty popular too. Okay, sponsored ads. So KEP sponsored ads, there's three options through this: sponsored products, sponsored brands, and lock screen ads. Sponsored products increases the visibility for your individual book that you want to highlight in search results. So if you have one book you want to advertise specifically, this will increase your book's visibility in search results that in search queries that are related to your book and your book's category, and it helps boost visibility there. Sponsored brands is a bit similar where you're driving awareness to your book, but it's more than one book. You can advertise up to three books and also drive brand awareness to you as an author. So that's good to keep in mind as well. One is more just focused on one individual book, and sponsored brands is more focused on, say, up to three books and driving brand awareness to you as an author. Then there's lock screen ads. Those appear on like Fire tablets and will pop up and make book recommendations to on like Kindle e-readers and Fire tablets. Okay, sponsored products. So as mentioned, sponsored products appear in shopping results, detail pages, and direct shoppers directly to your book's product detail page when they click it. They're cost per click, so you only pay for the ad if it's clicked on, and you can set your own budget as well. Also, it's good to keep in mind that you can track success for your campaigns because you'll receive analytics on how they're performing, so it won't just be a guessing game. Sponsored brands, as mentioned, you can showcase up to three of your books and a headline image. So it's more than just the one individual book. And you can see in the picture here is an example of this. Once more, you're advertising three books. It's more holistic way of providing your different works through one ad solution. Also, if it's not, if it needs to be said that you need to have three books to eligible titles to use this advertising solution as well. So just keep that in mind. Okay, sponsored ads. So as mentioned, these appear on lock screens for Fire tablets and Kindle e-readers. This is targeting potential customers and readers based on their interests, like their specific genre of books that they prefer. And you can give the customer kind of a sneak peek, a hint into the book by providing a custom text in the image as well. So that's good to know if you want to kind of really get in front of a potential customer directly by simply having your ad populate on their Kindle e-reader or Fire tablet. And just to quickly mention that when they engage with your ad, they'll be taken directly to your book's page to purchase. So if you're listening to this and you are thinking, well, none of this exactly applies to me. I'm looking just to resell books in Amazon store. Well, we're going to touch on that in just a moment. But I will let people finish up on some notes, let some of that information digest, and then we'll jump into the next section. Okay, just gonna check the chat, make sure we're all good there. Okay, I believe we're all good. Let's move this along. So selling books online. Whether you want to sell books from your brick and mortar store or offload some rare collectibles you no longer have any intent or use for, both of which are possible through selling them in Amazon store. But there are some, varying options here. So if you want to sell new books, uh, you can most certainly do that. The best way that we kind of recommend or look at it is find new books through a wholesaler or a supplier, distributor or publisher. Key thing here is if you do want to sell new books and make this like a full-time endeavor, you would most likely need the author's approval. Actually, you most certainly need the author's approval to sell new books. For used books, it's a bit different. These come secondhand. You don't need the author's approval. You can get those in different, say, yard sales or where someone else is just simply selling used books from a brick and mortar store themselves. Both of which are certainly possible to sell on Amazon store, but it's good to know who you are. Like if I want to do this full time and I want to sell hundreds of books a month in Amazon store of different categories, then this is gonna be like a full-time endeavor. If you just want to offload some books you no longer have a use for, that's also possible. But I'm gonna give you some tips as to how to get started with this. So choosing a selling plan based off your goals. If you wish to just offload some of those rare collectibles you no longer have any use for, then you will want to select Amazon's individual selling plan. The individual selling plan comes at 99 cents on every unit you sell. So if you have a limited amount of supply for the foreseeable future and you don't plan to do this full time, then you can go ahead and select the individual selling plan and simply sell sell off the books that you currently have on your in your inventory and then no longer worry about it. Compared to if you are someone who wants to sell these books on a consistent basis and sell, hundreds of books each month, I would recommend you go with the professional selling plan. The professional selling plan comes at $40 per month, $39.99, no matter how many units you sell, and you have full access to Amazon's programs to leverage. Another thing is researching the genres of the books because as I mentioned in the bestsellers rank, there was kind of a theme in books that were doing quite well. Now, if you are just looking to offload rare collectibles or offload books you no longer have a use for, then it's already kind of the decision's already made for you. You already have the books to sell. But if you're looking to sell books full time and you're looking at different wholesalers and suppliers to get certain books, researching through the bestsellers rank and different, say, online resources to ascertain, to know what categories are popular, what themes of books are popular before you wholesale books, before you make that big purchase, would be wise. Also, being honest about the book condition. If the book is new, then it's going to be a new condition, obviously, unless something happens to it. If it's used, then you just want to be honest about if it's not in the best condition. You just want to make sure you fill that out when it asks you and where it prompts you. Then choosing the right fulfillment method for your goal. Because if you have a limited supply of books, say 20 books, and you just look to sell those over the course of the next couple months, you want to go with the fulfillment by merchant fulfillment method, which is basically when you send the product directly to the customer, compared to Amazon's fulfillment by Amazon fulfillment method, which is when you send your products into Amazon and Amazon will directly deliver the product to the customer. And that would be best for someone who is looking to sell books, hundreds of books each month on a consistent basis, because at a certain point, it may most likely become impractical for you to fulfill those books on your own. And obviously, people appreciate Prime shipping and like that, trusted shipping service. But if you only have a few books to sell, then fulfilling them yourselves would most likely be the best option. All right, now I'll share some additional resources. Before that, I'll just take a quick moment once more, let people write and catch up on their notes and let some of that information digest. Okay. Oh, let me give another second for that. Okay, Kindle Create. You may remember and recall that I mentioned earlier about a tool that helps you format your manuscript in your cover file. That's what Kindle Create is. Kindle Create allows you to create the best reading experience for your audience. Because at some point while, typing out your book and writing your book, you'll have to think of how will this look for the reader? Because if it doesn't look well, if it's not formatted, neatly on the page and look clean, then that could be a, suboptimal reading experience to say. So Kindle Create allows you to format your books through simple layouts, and you have different options. So it looks professional, looks clean, and as mentioned, we provide different themes, typesetting, and different images that you can use. It's also a free desktop application, so it comes at no cost to leverage for your book. Okay, selecting what works best for you. Because with Kindle Create, you have different options. You have the reflowable option, which provides different formats for novels, essays, poetry, biography. This is probably the majority of books. But if you do have aspirations to publish a comic book, we have layouts for those as well. Same with cookbooks and textbooks through Print Replica. So there's different options that you can check out depending on what you're looking for. All right, KDP help pages. KDP help pages just help really authors learn more about KDP, new program and policy updates, and they can explore these different topics through the help pages. And you can access this through your KDP account. So as I mentioned in the beginning of this presentation, you will create an account through kdp.amazon.com, and through there you can access KDP help pages. But even if you don't have an account, you can access this resource and check out different topics. Okay, KDP University and Community. KP University is great for people who want, this in-depth webinar and say publishing your book, specifically how that process looks, because there are webinars about 30 to 45 minutes that goes through exactly step by step what you need to provide in each line for your book to get published, such as, the title, the keywords, description, all of that. And then KDP Community allows you to connect with fellow authors and once more stay updated with recent changes to the program. So both of those are great to keep in mind too if you do sign up for the program or just want to learn more. Now we have some of our partners. So none of this programming, none of this educational program would be possible without them. So we always like to give them a shout out, and obviously that includes Grow Nebraska. So giving them a shout out and thanking them for having us here today and allowing us to speak with you guys is always appreciated. Also, lastly, your feedback. If you enjoyed this presentation, please leave your feedback. Let us know what you liked. If you did enjoy this presentation, equally, let us know what you didn't like, because it helps us improve as a team and update our content moving forward and how we can better serve you, the small business. And I'll give a few minutes for that before my counterpart, or I'll give like 2 minutes. It's only, I want to say 5 questions. So I'll give a few minutes for that before my counterpart Diana and I jump into Q&A. So once more, you can scan that, and I believe Diana's also going to drop a link into the chat that you can click on to fill out the survey as well, just in case you don't have your phone on you and you can't scan. So Diana will drop that into the chat, and then we'll jump into Q&A. I'll start taking a look. Let me go back. Okay. All right, Diana may be finding the link, so I'll jump in. Oh, she just put it in. Perfect. And yeah, she put it right there. Perfect.
Awesome. Do you want me to moderate the Q&A?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
And just your name is Abby too, like it
Oh.
in the title. It threw me off.
Let me fix that. Apologies, everyone.
I had to do the same thing.
Perfect. All right, let's go through the questions here. So, the first question we have here is from Amanda. Dan, how do you add audio to your self-publish option on the Amazon listing?
Yeah, so as mentioned, maybe this was kind of covered when like in the audio creation exchange. So to offer, audio format, that audiobook option to readers or listeners in this case, you would go to Audio Creation Exchange to be able to do that. Because through Amazon, you're only going to be able to offer that audiobook through Audible. So keep that in mind as well. Because Spotify has audiobooks too, but that wouldn't be an option in Amazon store. So if you want to add that format for your work, for your book, you would go to Audio Creation Exchange to get started.
Awesome. We've got a follow-up question from Amanda. Can the categories and keywords be edited after submission?
I believe so. I believe they can most certainly be changed, and I'll double check that and follow up with Tanya to ensure that is the case. So I'll take that down for action. I'm pretty sure they can be, but I do want to confirm.
Perfect. Awesome. And then we've got a question from Jasmine. What's the cost to sell ebooks via Amazon?
So there's no direct cost that's going to come to you. So if you just want to join KDP and provide your work through, you put the title out there, you get published and all that, there's not going to be a direct cost to you. Now, there would be a cost when it comes to, say, advertising solutions that you want to leverage. That's when it could come at a cost. But since KDP is a royalty structure, you're not going to see these costs that you would when it comes to, say, selling a product in Amazon store, which is completely different. And a product, I mean, like, like a phone case or a number of other things.
Awesome. And then
Uh,
we've got another
mhm.
question here about from Justice. Do I
Yeah,
need to have an LLC or business to do KDP Select?
no, no, you do not. KDP Select once more is a program that, oh, I stopped sharing my screen. I just realized is a program that you offer your book to KP Select, or you enroll it, and then from there, Kindle Unlimited subscribers can benefit and look at it, or I mean, read it, excuse me, and then you receive compensation and a royalty based off how many pages they read. But no, you don't need a business. And I'll just go back to Kindle Create because I know I saw a question on that.
Awesome. And then I know Jasmine had a follow-up question about what's
Hmm.
the Kindle Create URL again? So yes, that's the
Yeah, that's
URL that you see on the screen. And I believe, Dan, you're
no,
sending out a PDF
after
that
this.
a
Yeah,
resource guide with all the links to the
yeah.
programs discussed.
Yes, that's correct. Following this, I'll be sharing that in Tanya, who can send that out. And then is there
Awesome. That's the
another
only other question that we have.
says that link doesn't work. Hmm. I will check on that. And it works in the resource guide, so if there's is any issue, I'll ensure that it is corrected. But thanks for letting us know that link didn't work. Amazon.com. Yeah, of
Awesome.
course. Yeah, sorry about that. If it
Yeah.
is accurate or is incorrect.
All right. And then any other questions? I think we have time for about 2 more questions.
Yeah, if there's any other questions, I was going to look into that question too, because I know about the categories and keywords. Kind of just want to confirm that for Amanda if I can on the spot, so she can have an answer. Because that's someone. It's like semi. Yes, you can, and this is from Kindle. I just checked the resource. You can edit both the categories and keywords of a book after you submit it, and you just go to the KDP bookshelf and select the book you want to update. I thought that was the case, but just wanted to confirm. So you can do that. And Jasmine, yeah, assuming you heard, but yeah, we'll share that resource guide with Kindle Create. See, another question from you. Do you know how successful ebooks are for authors, like a rough estimate on someone who makes good money? It depends. It really does. Like I know there's an example of this. There was this high school principal that during COVID, obviously, all schools were virtual. And she had a lot more time on her hands because she didn't have to do that commute. So she had roughly like 90 or so minutes more on her hands. So she dedicated that time to publishing her work and drafting her work, I should say, than publishing it. And since that time, she's published 7 different novels and 2 novellas, which I believe are just like shorter lengths of work. And she now does that virtually full time, to my knowledge. So it really varies on how like success it depends on the book, depends on the author, because obviously you can be quite successful with the program. But then there's other people who just do this in addition to their full-time pursuit, whether it's be running a business or working their typical job. So it depends in essence.
Perfect. Looks like we have about 1 minute left. Any other last minute question?
Yeah, if there's anything else, please let us know. Because I know a lot was covered here today. I just want to make sure it resonates with everyone. And I'll finally go back to the the survey code, because if you did not fill that out, just we'll ask you to once more, because your feedback is always much appreciated.
And the link is
And
also in
I'll
the chat if you're not able to
Oh,
scan the QR
and I
code.
would, yes, and I want to turn over to Tanya before we close out as well. So Tanya, if
and I'll
yeah,
yeah, I'll make sure to put that your guys' survey within the email again. Um, that way you can get additional feedback if someone watches like the playback as well. But
perfect.
yeah, if I could share my screen here and then we can just watch for any last minute questions again.
Sounds good. Let me stop my share.
Thank you. Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you everyone for hopping on today's training, and thank you, Daniel and Diana, for leading this session. And so I'd like to promote our upcoming trainings. Next Thursday, October 24th, we have Scaling Your Influence, Personal Branding for Entrepreneurs with Monique Tate. So I encourage you to hop on for that one to learn more about personal branding for your business. And then on November 6th, we have Make Your Website Work for You, as well as on December 4th, we have Reach Customers Online, which is our first Wednesday Google webinar with Maria. And I'm just going to pop in the chat the links for the upcoming trainings, and as well as the if you'd like to leave us a Google review. And then you can also scan this QR code here. And then I ask that you save the date for our Market Tech Conference on March 25th and 26th. Registration is going live this week, and so just keep an eye out for that. And then I encourage you to sign up for our open office hours. They're 2 days a week for an hour. If you're interested in learning more, maybe about how to sell your book also through Grow Nebraska, we're happy to chat with you a little bit more about that. Or if you're interested in Grow Nebraska membership, or if you're a Grow Nebraska member and you have any questions, these are great times to sign up for, where we can give just have a quick Zoom session that you can get your questions asked. And then if you aren't following us on social media, I encourage you to follow us on one of our social media platforms to stay up to date on all things happening with our Grow Nebraska members. And then I did send that Google review link, but if you'd like to scan this QR code and just let us know what your thoughts are on the training today, we ask if you could just leave 2 to 3 sentences on the Google review so we can know your feedback, but encourage you to just let us know what your thoughts are. And then once again, thank you for joining our training. If you do have any questions or topic suggestions, please let me know. You can call the store number or reach me at tanya@grownebraska.org. And then I don't see any other questions. So thank you once again, Daniel, and I hope everyone has a great Wednesday.
Take care, everyone. Thank you.